Hello everyone, my name is Steve and welcome to this first in a series of 3 devotions. Recently I've been struck by the reality of how hard things are at the moment. Within my own family and friendship circles, in our church community and people I know through work, there have been bereavements, health issues due to COVID and non-COVID related illnesses, loss of work, loss of business, increased pressure at work, especially for those working on the front line, increasing loneliness and isolation because of lockdown and shielding, cancelled appointments, cancelled holidays and cancelled weddings. The list goes on. At best, life feels strange. At worst, it feels bleak. It can be really hard to look beyond the fog of sorrow, suffering, uncertainty, chaos or confusion. And even though I haven't personally experienced anything that traumatic, I've still found myself trying to minimise the severity of the situation, escaping into unhealthy amounts of mindless entertainment or distracting myself with fruitless endeavours. Perhaps some of you can relate. So I'm grateful for the opportunity this devotion has given me to refocus my mind and heart, and my prayer is that this devotion will bless you and encourage you during these difficult days. As I was considering how dark these days are, metaphorically and literally, I was encouraged by the opening words of the Bible. In Genesis chapter 1 verses 2 to 5, we read these words: "Now the earth was formless and empty, darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, 'Let there be light,' and there was light. God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day." It's quite striking that even at the dawn of creation, our God is the one who brought light after the darkness. Darkness was over the world, and the Lord gave light. Note also that the marker of a day is evening followed by morning, which is the opposite of how we perceive a day. We mark the day as starting in the morning and ending with evening. But in the Jewish tradition, a full day begins with darkness and is followed by light, which is why many practicing Jews observe the Sabbath beginning at sunset on Friday until sunset on Saturday. So right from the beginning of time, we see that our God is the one who gives light after darkness. Whatever darkness you are experiencing today, hold on to this truth, that God will bring light. That is who he is. In fact, the Bible says that God is the light. 1 John 1:5 says, "This is the message we have heard from him and declare to you. God is light. In him there is no darkness at all." God is light. In him there is no darkness at all. And what's even more compelling is that our God of light did not stay far off. Consider the sun for a moment. It's at the centre of our solar system and all the planets revolve around it. All of life depends on the sun for light and heat. And were we a fraction closer or a fraction further away from it, we would either die from heat or die from the cold. Like the sun, God is a consuming fire, but unlike the sun, God made a way to draw near to us without incinerating us. God became flesh. He became a man in the person of Jesus Christ. And this is what we will celebrate in a month's time, the birth of Emmanuel, God with us. It's an endearing image to see Prince William, the future King of England, a man with authority and privilege, stooping down to his child's level to connect with him. Or that famous picture of Princess Diana shaking the hand of a gay man dying of AIDS, which broke the stigma around the disease, the compassion of this person of nobility winning the hearts of a nation. And while these images are heartwarming and inspiring, they pale into insignificance when we consider the person of Jesus. This was not a future heir to the throne stooping to a child's level. This was the King of Kings becoming a helpless baby. And this royal baby did not enter the world in a warm crib set in palatial opulence, surrounded by the best trained governesses and minders. This king's first bed was an animal's food trough, set in a stable, thick with the stench of animal waste, born to an inexperienced, poor teenage mother. This noblest of persons did not just momentarily hold the hands of a sick person to return to his life of wealth and privilege. This person came from the ultimate splendour of heaven and chose to live in community with the poor, healing the sick and discipling the broken. During these dark days, remember that God is light and the darkness cannot overcome him. And remember that the light is not far off like the sun. He is close, he is here. Whatever struggle you're going through, Jesus does not watch from the sidelines. He has skin in the game. Like the mother who loses a child or the spouse who loses a soulmate, Jesus went through an infinitely deeper suffering when he was separated from his Father. He knows, he understands, he can be trusted, but above all, he has overcome. As we approach the Christmas season this year, with the shadow of suffering cast over it, remember Jesus' words, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life."
The world waits for a miracle. The heart longs for a little bit of hope. Oh come, Emmanuel. A child prays for peace on earth, and she's calling out from a sea of hurt. Oh come, Emmanuel. And can you hear the angels singing? Glory to the light of the world. Glory, the light of the world is here. The drought breaks with the tears of a mother. A baby's cry is the sound of love. Come down, Emmanuel. Here's the song for the suffering. He is Messiah, the Prince of Peace has come. He has come, Emmanuel. Glory longs for a little bit of